Warning! What you are about to hear contains explicit language, adult themes, and potentially disturbing content. The views and opinions expressed are those of the hosts and do not reflect the opinions of anyone else, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. This podcast is intended for an immature audience and should not be listened to by anyone, anywhere, ever, in the history of the world. You know, fuck it. You've been warned.
Ladies and gentlemen, dorks and dweebs, nerds of all ages, GeekPod Network Productions is proud to bring to you the most electrifying middle-aged guys in Syracuse, the Doctor, Hugh Allen, the Pod Whore, Paul Showens. Alone, they are single geek beacons in a dark cop drama world. But when the mics go hot, they are GeekPod. God bless me! Hello and welcome to GeekPod, the only podcast that's the equivalent of participation trophies. I'm your host, Paul.
I'm Hugh.
And I'm Corbs.
What's happening, guys?
Oh, well, I've had an interesting week. Lots of interesting stuff to talk about. But guess what I get in the mail today? I get a statement of my benefits and find out that I not only did I, but my wife also applied for unemployment on November 30th of last year.
Did someone forget to mention that to you?
Yeah, they did. And I had to spend a ton of time on the phone with the, New York State Department of Labor, and then going and filing a fraud claim and putting a fraud alert on my credit, because it's somehow on the same day they got both of our information. They even had her maiden name on this thing.
Wow.
It was weird. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever had that happen to you, but I have the emails from the state now saying that, this will not be held against me if I actually need to draw on unemployment in the future. But it was kind of a shock and kind of ruined my day.
Oh, that'll do it. Yeah, that's scary shit.
Well, identity theft, it is pretty scary.
I'm just how does this work if they steal the identity and then I get the paperwork and call and say it's fraud? Because it doesn't look like they've been paid. It looks like the claim went in on November 30th, and this was just saying, okay, we've approved you for this much. We're going to start paying you. So where's the net gain in that?
I don't know. And it's funny because where I work, it happened to one of the attorneys as well. Like it all created a shitstorm there. So
yeah,
look at you. You're hitting the hard stuff tonight.
Oh yeah, diet cherry Pepsi.
Careful, man.
Actually, you know what? I'm slightly interested, and I may end up breaking down and buying some. But there's a place out of Connecticut called Athletic Brewing, which makes non-alcoholic beer, and they have been getting rave reviews. Like they've apparently made stouts that taste like they were barrel aged.
No kidding.
My interest is piqued. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I don't know if maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing or what. But it keeps popping up in my Facebook feed. Like Facebook wants me to drink fake beer. So I don't know.
I hear the Heineken 00 is pretty good too.
Yeah, I did see that in one of the comments on the threads, but I mean Heineken sucks to begin with, so non-alcoholic Heineken just sounds awful.
Even worse.
Yeah, it's like why don't you just drink the carbonated bong water? That's what I think Heineken would be like.
I've never drank bong water, but okay.
Do you know what pot smells like?
Yeah,
that's what I think Heineken tastes like.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Oh, somebody got a message.
Wasn't me.
You know what? That's ridiculous because that is across my desk that you guys caught the vibration off of that. It's a testament to this blue Yeti mic.
So what about you guys? Anything interesting?
It's a big ass mic, by the way.
You like that, right?
He calls it Big Mike.
Yes. Now I'm gonna get a nameplate for it.
For me, it's after a full year working for the government.
Perfect.
Working for the government. I'm going back to work.
Oh yeah. Wait, are we doing geeked now? I thought we were just saying, hey, what's going on?
Well, that's what's going on for me. It's
all right.
that's just it for me. It's just after a whole year of sitting on unemployment, finally getting back into the workforce. I got a job offer on Wednesday. Filled out the paperwork, all that stuff. I supposed to start on the 22nd, depending on a background check.
You're
Yeah.
screwed.
It's all under a different. That's all under a different name.
Was it under Hugh Allen? Or was it your unemployment claim? Or
It was under Paul Showens, but that's
you don't want to steal my identity, man. That's just going to bury you further into a hole.
it's under Jack.
Oh, Jack. Yeah. Most people listening probably don't know who you're talking about anymore.
No, it's been a while since Jack's been
No,
around.
Laura knows who Jack is, and I'm sure Corbs has told his girlfriend who Jack is. That covers
No,
everything.
100%.
I don't
There
think
you
I've told Jack. Or don't think I've told her about Jack.
She doesn't know Jack.
She doesn't know Jack.
So where did you get a job? That's
Aspen Dental.
all right. What are you going to be like filling cavities and stuff?
No, working IT, doing help desk.
Perfect.
So the big thing for me was the benefits, because I've been a whole year without any medical, dental, vision, anything like that. So I've let all that stuff go. I started going back to my regular doctor. I know obviously we've talked about that on numerous occasions. And I went to the doctor's on Wednesday, and I'll use that for what's got me geeked. So, but
Now, wouldn't it be amazing if you were working for Aspen Dental, but they were like out of network or something, or the dental? I have a problem with Aspen Dental anyway, so I'm going to try not to say anything bad about them, but they pissed me off a few years ago.
yeah, they've pissed off a few people. But you know, when I talked to the lady, I talked to Heather, and I talked to the three people I interviewed with. They're not just a dental office anymore. I just assumed it was they did the dental stuff. They've got over 900 locations in 43 states.
Wow.
I didn't realize that, but they also do Health Now. They do the urgent care, and then they just picked up a place in North Dakota. It's like a healing spa.
Interesting.
So they're going to
Does it
start
work
building
on
that
teeth?
up. So what's that here?
Does the healing spa work on teeth?
I don't believe so.
I blame Aspen Dental for the sad state of my dental health. It is their fault.
And you're not wrong. I can remember, I want to say 10 or 15 years ago, they had a bad rap. I mean, people were saying that they'd go in there for a cavity and get 3 teeth pulled or
Oh, not even like that. Back when I worked at AT&T, when I had top-notch insurance, and I was like, okay, I'm finally going to get the problems with my mouth taken care of. I got bounced back and forth between what they have, one in North Syracuse and one in Liverpool. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, will one of you guys pick me? But they back and forth for 5 years. Nobody would say, yes, you can come here. Oh, no, you have to go to the Liverpool office. Oh, no, you need to go to North Syracuse. Do you realize you've told me this 50 times? Seriously, for 5 years. And then the job closed and I no longer had dental insurance. So fuck
Right.
me. And now I've got blown out molars and shit that causes me pain on a daily basis. It sucks.
All right.
That wasn't even my rant for the week.
Oh God, that's gonna get better.
It's going to get a lot better.
Let's jump into our Valhalla minute so we can get closer to that rant. I'll go first this time. I've only gotten to play for a handful of hours this week. I'm at 152 for power, and yeah, laugh it up. And I'm now in Dover. They sent me down there to work those quests.
Look at the cliffs of Dover.
Yes.
They're white. They're pretty.
Yes, that's where they sent me first. I had to sail around the tip of the continent.
You're still in Kent?
Yes,
With
it's
the
still
C?
the Kent. Yeah,
Kent with the C,
yes,
better known as Cent.
right.
Dude, that's where English comes from, so don't knock it.
Right, I know. Oh yeah, I'm well past that now.
We still beat them in the war there, so we'll take that and run.
Yeah. I'm up to I think 260 something now
Jesus.
for power. I've been through Kent, Essex, which
I
is
think that's where they're sending me next. Yeah.
Yep. And then you go from there. You go to some of the one that's just next to just to the west of Kent. Can't remember the name of what it's called. I think it starts with an S or something like that. And now I'm in Glausenspiel or something like that, which is more west.
That sounds German.
Yeah. But when you get to when you go into I think when you go into Kent is when you start trying to find Sigurd.
Yeah. I've been working with Basim.
Yep. Yeah. And you start kind of jumping around a little bit, and you end up over in that one section, and you do find him. Like I said, let me know, because when I found him, I looked at it and I was like, man, he looks like he got foobarred.
That's
the picture that you see of him, he's sitting in front of like an altar or whatever, and you look at it and you're like, holy crap, is he dead? And then you see him later, and he's walking and talking, and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Interesting. All right, I'll have to keep an eye out for that then.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to assault a fortress to get the guy that's going to be the new alderman.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. Tormund, I believe, is the guy's name. We just kidnapped the wrong guy.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So when he runs and you have to chase after him, how far did you have to chase him?
I don't think I chased him that far.
I don't know what I did wrong, but I chased him from that village all the way to the beach. Like it was like when I finally caught up to him and captured him, it was like a 1500 click
back.
Run back.
No, you have like a run button, right?
Yeah, I was using that. I had him running. At one point I considered getting the horse. I keep chasing him down. I unlocked 2 fast travel points on my way through. But I got him. And then you find out he's the wrong guy. See, if I would have just listened to him in the first place, he was trying to tell you that you had the wrong guy.
Yeah.
But
well, I actually put down Valhalla briefly. I'm up to about 120 hours, 320 or 40 power. And so Thursday, I got a bonus day off. For Employee Appreciation Month, they decided to let everybody have a day off paid.
nice.
So I picked Thursday. I'm like, oh, all right, awesome. So kicking around the house, nothing to do. I'm like, you know what? I've really been wanting to play Avengers. And I'm like, I'm going on GameStop. Oh, they got it used for $17, or I could download it, from PlayStation for $65. So I'm like, you know what? GameStop has this. It's like, okay, if regular post delivery, like if you order it from the big GameStop, it's like, it'll be here in 15 days. Or it's like there by 1 p.m. if you order in the next 2 hours. I'm like, what is that about? And then it was pick up to store, wasn't going to be until today. I'm like, wait, so if I go to the store where you have the game in there in a box, I can't get it until tomorrow? That doesn't make any sense. But if I order it online, you'll have it shipped to me in 2 hours. Let's try this shit out. So I went ahead and ordered it, and lo and behold, Postmates was there within about 2 hours and dropping off both Avengers and Horizon Zero Dawn, which is another game I've been wanting to play. First of all, amazed by that. How cool is it? We live in a
That's
world
really cool.
where, yeah, I can decide over breakfast, you know what, fuck it, I want to try this new game, and it's here a few hours later. That's awesome. Second thing is Avengers, very cool. I know you played it a bit. You have it, Paul. Maybe you can help me. I'm stuck. I got to the point where you have to go and you have the war board and you have to go on a mission, and I can't figure out how to go on the fucking mission.
Is that the first mission? Like, have you already done like the 5 years prequel and then ran through the jungle with the Hulk?
Yeah, I did all that, and now we have our base and we can travel to other bases. But it seems like I can't start a mission without other randos joining in, and I'm supposed to go to a place where there's tundra and retrieve some device, and I cannot figure out how to start the mission.
I think that's exactly the same spot when I left off. So that's probably why I stalled on it as well, as I couldn't figure out what the fuck I was doing.
So because of that, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll try the other game I bought today, Horizon Zero Dawn. I pop it in. Holy crap, is this an amazing game.
Really?
I don't even know. I'm not going back to Valhalla for a few days, at least, maybe longer. Really blown away by this game. And part of the reason I picked it up was because I've heard it's a lot like the Assassin's Creed open world games, and that it's really good. And one of the PS5 games coming down the pipeline is a sequel to that. So I'm like, I should be able to get it cheap, and I did. It was like $15. Premise of the game is that, and you don't know this at first, but basically you're like it's like everyone lives in like native tribes type things, okay? But there seems to be a little bit of weird technology, but not much. It's mostly sticks and stones and spears and bows and shit. And you start off playing as a little girl. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but she falls into a hole, and while she's or cave basically, and as she's trying to find her way out, finds a fucking research station. This all takes place after we are gone.
Wow.
It's our Earth. Our technology definitely went up a little bit. So maybe it's 50, 60 years from now. And then something happens and boom, everybody's back to the Stone Age. Except for the fact that along with the regular animals, there are also machine animals running around. These are like high tech, mechanical fucking panthers and tigers and all sorts of really deadly stuff. And nobody knows where it comes from. They try to avoid anything from the age of metal. But it's a really cool world. Graphically, it's fucking blowing me away. It's definitely a leg up over Valhalla. And interestingly enough, the control scheme, it's not weird, but it's weird coming from Valhalla because a few buttons are switched. But this is, while you do have a spear for attacking, your bow ends up being your best friend. And to this day, I'm not adept at using the bow in Valhalla. I was great with it in Odyssey, but the bow in Valhalla is just a pain in the ass. And here, right off the bat, it's smooth, it's fluid, it's fun. So definitely, when you guys are done with that, or if you have the opportunity, this is a really good game.
Nice. Something to check out.
Yeah.
I like it. I've been dabbling as well with an MMO PC game right now. Gone back to Star Wars The Old Republic.
Okay.
Game's like 9 years old. I was given an older gaming laptop by Aaron, and it was on there, so I was like, well, what the hell, I'll log in and check it out. And I've been playing as a bounty hunter again, and wow, are there a whole lot of Mandalorian clones in that game now. Yeah. It's pretty cool, but definitely nowhere near the caliber of Valhalla. I keep waiting for my character in Star Wars to start cursing at somebody, and then I remember it's not going to happen because it's Star Wars and they don't do that. But yeah, I had an opportunity for a little bit, like messing around with the computer to try it out. So I might make that another daily gaming thing. So it's fun. It's pretty cool to be a bounty hunter and be able to just shoot people in the face. So
that's what I've always wanted to do.
Yeah, just without the danger of being shot back at. Yeah.
I don't care about that.
I do. I don't want to get shot. That looks like it hurts.
Only for a minute.
Yeah.
Probably less than that knowing my luck.
Don't be such a pussy, Paul.
I've had enough other injuries. I don't need a fucking gunshot too.
Come on, chicks
the
dig
gunshot
stars.
make everything go away.
What's that, Corbs?
The gunshot make all the other pain go away.
Probably permanently, yeah.
Oh, you take the good with the bad.
Right. Anything else for video games before we move on to what's got us geeked?
No, I mean, Valhalla is just, I enjoy playing it. Obviously, I mean, I'm, 260 something power or whatever. So still having a hard time finding the animals, like not the legendary animals, but just random animals. Like I shoot a deer to get antlers. Like one's got antlers, you shoot it and you don't get the antlers, you get leather.
Right.
Like, this is freaking ridiculous. So other than that, I enjoy the game very much. It's the first game like that I've played. I mean, I've played a few other ones, like Sniper Elite and stuff like that. But this is the first game that I've actually played, and
got hooked into.
Yeah, my son watches me play every once in a while. Actually, my girlfriend was here last weekend, I think 2 weekends ago, last Thursday. That's what it was. And she was watching me play it. So, because she hadn't seen me play it, she just heard us talk about it on
right
here. So she was like, I want to see how it is. And I was playing. She's like, man, this is very violent. Stabbing people and breaking people's necks and decapitating people and
pieces of arms going flying.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one. It's just when you see a dismembered arm just go flying through the air.
Get to and he was talking about the heavy dual action, where you can have two big. Like I have right now, I'm using a sword and an axe, and you cut people in half with the axe.
That's awesome.
So, but that's that. Just I enjoy playing it. I'm glad it was recommended, and I'm glad we all picked it up and have been playing it. It's something for the three of us to talk about and whatnot. So
yes,
that's it for me. I'm
perfect. Done. Gonna walk off into the tree line back there, or
actually, if you look if I stood up, it's actually like a pathway.
Very nice.
Well, I didn't think when I had my interview with the Geek Pod background was appropriate.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, and of course, the one girl that I interviewed, but it was just her regular background.
Yeah,
one guy had a harbor, and then the other guy just had like an office behind him.
Yeah, that's what I do for work once too. Yeah. Actually, I think I have the Oval Office set for mine now.
Yeah, there you go.
And people judge you on whether or not your computer is powerful enough to run the background thing or not, because not all computers can. So,
oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I figured they would have had that worked out by now, where it just kind of can. But
no, I mean there are requirements for it. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're too ridiculously high, but there are requirements for the background program to work.
I believe it. Okay, guys, what's got you geeked? As I yawn on Mike.
Jesus.
Wow, you certainly seem excited about something.
Seriously.
Okay, I am super geeked, and Paul knows what this is. Last Thursday. Okay, so I have been attempting to buy a PlayStation 5, kind of half-heartedly. I mean, I actually I went and got the PayPal credit card, low limit, just $1,500, and basically that is my my play around card, because I have that monthly benefit I get from my company every month. So I use that to pay it off. And that's what I got my PlayStation VR on. And I figured, I'll have that paid off in a few months. Then I'll try to seriously get a PS5. But I keep getting alerts. Oh, PS5 drop at Amazon, at Walmart, at Target, GameStop, everywhere. And I'm like, fuck it. I have the money. I'm still going to pay it off. It's not a big deal. So I've been trying for over a month now. Every week, following around to different stores, saving my card information so I can try to get it.
Yep.
And things are sold out in 30 seconds. I mean, you don't even get a chance, right? And last Thursday, they were like, drop at 3:00 at Walmart. I'm like, fuck, okay, fine. So I get done with work and I'm ready, and I just go right on. And I usually grocery shop on Thursday. So what they do is they drop every 10 minutes. They drop another bundle of consoles to try to give you a chance to get it. 3:00, couldn't get anything. 3:10, couldn't get anything. Finally, like, screw it. Okay, I'm going to go grocery shopping. I'm grocery shopping. I make it to Aldi's by 3:20. I'm in the parking lot trying to get it on my phone, switching back and forth between the Walmart app and the website in the browser on the phone. Walking around the store grocery shopping, failing to buy a PlayStation 5. Leave Aldi, go to Price Chopper, because I hit 2 stores on grocery shopping day. I'm like, I'll try one last time. And then I couldn't help myself. I kept looking at my phone as I'm going around the store. Like, fuck, it's almost the 10. Try to get it. As I'm standing in front of the aspirin and all of the analgesics, my phone buzzes and I get a confirmed order.
Nice.
I'm standing there. I almost, and here's the funny thing about this. I had not gotten this far in the process before. So I didn't know that when you save a new card to Walmart, I guess you have to re-verify the card number on your first purchase. I get and you don't have it until you actually check out. So at this point, it's not locked. It's like, put in the 3-digit code. I'm like, fuck, because usually my credit cards that I might not use on a regular basis, they stay at home. I don't bring them. I'm like, fuck, do I have it? I pull out my wallet. I'm throwing things around. I actually had the card with me. I put in the code. I'm like, this screwed me. This was my chance and it screwed me. But no, I got the confirmation. So I managed to purchase a PlayStation 5. Incredibly excited. To add to that, it said it was going to ship on, it would be here by April 13th, which I'm like, okay. I mean, they're in high demand. Yeah, they're hard to get. I didn't care that, I got my place in line.
Right.
I get an email today that it's going to be here on Sunday.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, I'm excited about this, but here's the funny part of this. This is the first time in video gaming history, at least mine, that I am buying a console only to make the games I already own on the previous console run faster. There is nothing in the current lineup I'm interested in remotely that I couldn't get on PlayStation 4,
Right.
but it runs Valhalla better. You get a free upgrade to the PS5 version if you have the PS4 version. It runs all of the VR stuff. Like, I guess at least loads faster, and a lot of games actually have upgrades. Like No Man's Sky has a VR mode, almost unplayable and blurry on PlayStation 4. Okay on the Pro, actually pretty impressive on the 5. So I don't know if this is them changing me as a consumer, but I'm just happy that, it's going to run better than my PS4, which has gotten kind of clunky.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But in the
Hey,
future,
what?
I'm sure there's going to be lots of great stuff.
Oh yeah. As long as you don't get one that catches fire when you plug it in, he'll be all set.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes it more fun.
No, it doesn't. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. Go pick some cherry blossoms.
The
All
background. That's
I forgot that.
now what's got me geeked is this week, and by the time this comes out, probably within the next couple days, is St. Patrick's Day.
Woohoo!
Yes. Normally, I'm a big proponent of celebrating, but there's two reasons why I'm not actually doing much of anything this year for it.
Because
one,
you're not actually Irish.
that's part one, and part two is the other thing that's got me geeked, and that is I've elected to start living healthier. Yes. So I won't be partaking in a bunch of drinking for it. I'm actually watching what I eat. I actually downloaded My Fitness Pal, I think it's called, to log what I'm eating. So I'm actually watching my calorie intake. And I've only been doing it for 3 days, and it's already I've already lost weight, and my A1C, my blood sugar, has dropped 40 points. So I might actually live to see 50.
That would be great. Now, are you cutting out the beer totally?
Not totally. I mean, I haven't drank in 2 weeks now, but I just haven't felt like it. But we treated ourselves tonight. We had McDonald's in a limited capacity. It was funny because we actually still fit into our calorie intake, because Kristen's been doing this. I don't know if you guys have seen any of this or not. She's been eating healthy. She's much more active. She's got me into it. We've got the treadmill that we've been using. She dragged me out on my lunch break today, and we actually went for like a 45-minute walk on our lunch.
Nice.
So she's pissed because just in the 2 days I've already dropped 1.5 pounds.
Oh, she's going to be so mad at you because you're going to lose weight faster than her.
Yes, and she's aware of it. And the best part, I'm sorry, almost 2 pounds. I dropped 1.8 pounds as of this morning. And so because I'm a really nice guy, I went to Kylie and said, hey, when you see your mother, say to her, hey, did you hear Daddy lost almost 2 pounds?
I used to watch what I eat, but I could only get about as far as here, and then I lost sight.
Then you lose it in the nose. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, in my mouth, technically.
There's that too.
Through my nose.
On that note, Corbs, what's got you geeked?
Well, mine's kind of in the same line. As I said earlier, I went to the doctor's on Wednesday for my 3-month checkup for my diabetes. And
right about then is when I want to launch Wilfred Brimley filter on you.
So I hadn't, because I couldn't afford the Ozempic, which is what I was taking. I couldn't afford it with no insurance, so my doctor gave me like the knockoff version of it. But the medication that they were giving me was 2 milligrams. I was only supposed to take 1, so I wasn't taking it correctly. I was taking it every other week as opposed to every week. So I talked to my doctor about it. She said it's because it's a different brand, the dosage is different, so you still got to take it the same way. So I was okay. So they did a blood draw just to check my A1C. So when I first started going last year, my A1C was at 13. Which is,
and for those of you who don't have the diabetes, that's bad.
That's very
bad. Very bad. That's scary bad. Yeah.
Yeah, that's diabetic coma bad. So in the course of the year, my A1C has come down to, before I lost my insurance, it was at a 9.4,
which is all right.
it's
not great.
No, not great, but it's better than a 13.
Well, yeah.
So they called me yesterday and let me know that my A1C had dropped another point. I'm down to 8.4.
Good. Making progress.
The goal to get to is 7. Anything under 7 is good.
Yes.
So that's my goal, is to get it to a 7. So, and I wasn't taking my medication the right way. So they figured maybe if I start taking it the right way, it will lower it even more. So we're hoping, and like you, Paul, I have to start watching what to eat, exercising a little bit more, stuff like that. So hopefully within the next 6 months that I'll have my shit under control. So
there you go.
Good for you.
That, to me, it was great that I hadn't really been keeping it in check for the past year, because I haven't had the insurance, which is the reason for the job and all that. So for it to drop a whole point with me not necessarily taking care of myself, that leads me to believe that I can do a lot better.
Oh yeah. Put the effort in and you're going to see huge changes.
Yep. And the effort's going to come because I want to get it. I want to do it because A, I want to do it for my son. B, I got to help my mom get hers in check so she can have her surgery. Her eyes, she has glaucoma or whatever, cataracts or whatever for her eyes. She's had it for a while. She is technically legally blind right now because of it. But if she has the surgery, she'll be fine after that. So, but they won't do the surgery because her A1C is not in check.
Gotcha.
Her blood sugar is, I don't even know, astronomical. So, but according to my doctor, everything is good. Blood pressure is finally back in check. It was quite high the last time I went, which was nice. But now it's, she said 122 over 88, when it was 144 over 88 the last time. So
nice.
Blood pressure was a little out of whack. They didn't check the cholesterol this time around, but hey, I got positive notes out of it. So we're gonna go forward. We're gonna start eating healthier and doing better things and getting more exercise and working out and all that shit. So
you're gonna pick things up and put them down.
I do that every day myself.
That doesn't count. Like picking yourself up out of a chair.
Have you seen me lately?
No.
That's dead weight right there every time. It's dead weight.
I mean, hasn't that been kind of painfully obvious that we haven't seen each other since we're doing this over Zoom?
But painfully obvious is not one of my strong suits, so.
You know, maybe it's your background that's so pretty and looks like cotton candy, but when you said diabetic coma, my brain went to, can we find a way to control the language on this and make it sound nicer? Like sugar sleep. Doesn't that sound nice?
It does, but you don't want these scary, life-threatening things to sound nice. That's not the idea. But I am writing that down.
I mean, it really does matter who's controlling the narrative on whether we want it to sound nice or not.
I mean, yeah.
Let's be honest. There's a lot of that going around these days.
Yeah, there is. And I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that that's gonna get mentioned here after the break in your news segment.
Oh no, not at all. Not even a little. I'm just talking in general, and I wasn't even sure. Am I doing the news after the break?
Typically, that's how it goes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I should probably do my rant then. Shit. Well, it's not really my rant. It's not a thing, but I did want to bring up something that just piggybacks on something we talked about ages ago, and I have just enough time. So you know that the vape mail ban is about to go into effect near the end of this month. They're banning all mailing, the post office, FedEx. Nobody's going to be mailing any vape stuff. And I talked about how the big tobacco companies are coming up with alternatives to smoking, which are getting fast tracked through the government. I just want to, this past week, it was last week, Altria, who is owned by Marlboro, who has some new smoking cessation devices, like the I think one's called the Q, which is it's a smokeless tobacco stick that gets heated up. They went to the FDA and they said, FDA, could you please come out and say that nicotine is not harmful, so that when our new product hits the the stores, people understand nicotine by itself isn't bad. It's all the other stuff that's in it. And I'm like, isn't it so fucking nice that you have enough money to have a cozy relationship with the FDA, that you can come out and have them help you as you helped write the rules that destroy the vaping industry, which has been doing the same fucking thing for over 10 years. I don't know. I'm a little upset about that.
Understandably so, because it is super hypocritical.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it just again goes to show how much control even these old things like big tobacco still have in our society. They can just say, hey, let's change the rules. Oh, and let's, can you say something nice about me so my date likes me? I mean, really, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. To roll in the more billions of dollars for them.
Yeah, because that's what they need. But
right.
That's it.
All right. Well, with that, stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back. The 4th annual Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming with an all-new location, new celebrity guests, and more to enjoy. Sci-Fi Horror Fest has a new home for 2021 at the Vernon Downs Casino and Hotel in Vernon, New York. Sci-Fi Horror Fest will be held on August 27th and 28th. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a family-friendly event featuring exciting guests including CJ Graham and Loren Malloy, as well as fun activities, vendors, and a media area with an eclectic group of podcast personalities. More guest announcements will be announced soon. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to www.sci-fihorrorfest.com. That's www.sci-fihorrorfest.com. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is currently looking for volunteers. This is your chance to be part of the fun. Please note, dates and details of the event are subject to change due to any lasting issues due to COVID-19.
All right, and on to the news. Sorry, guys, I'm having a little trouble reading my notes here. This is challenging. My eyes are a little irritated because, how I said yesterday, I had some games delivered. Right as I sat down to start playing them, Avery joined me on the couch, got next to me. She's like, I want to see the Avengers game. And then she says, Daddy, did you fart? And I don't think I farted. I'm like, no. And she's like, something smells. And then she immediately proceeded to grab the Febreze disinfectant that smells like pine trees, pointed at me and spray it right in my face.
Perfect.
So, full on, like from here, like right in my face. Now, luckily I had put contacts in because I thought I might do some VR that day. So that actually might have saved me from some of the bad stuff, but I had to throw out the contacts and rinse out my eyes. And it was awful. Like, it was so bad. I didn't even yell at her. Like, your kid does something really, really bad. You yell in a dad voice. I couldn't even, I was stunned. I was like, she just tried to kill me. What the fuck?
She kind of maced you.
Yeah, basically. Anyway, so first up, don't call it a pod quack. Now, if any of you managed to catch Disney's rebooted DuckTales?
No.
Okay. Did you even know that was a thing, Paul?
Wait, rebooted again because Avery was into it when it came back, right? Is this the same reboot or no?
No, I'm talking about the same reboot. You know that it was rebooted recently,
a couple years ago, right?
And it's currently ending. They're ending the run. It's going to be over, but not completely, because they are going to continue it in podcast form for at least 7 episodes. There are 7 episodes planned with the entire cast, everybody from top to bottom. It's going to be presented as one of the boys is doing a podcast about the town, and all of the other characters are guests on that podcast. There's a preview up right now, but it premieres on March 29th. Now, while I'm all for the podcast medium, obviously, I'm not sure how DuckTales works as a podcast, but if Disney's doing it, they must have a pretty damn good idea. Next up, and I don't know if I should sing this like in the old song, like "Make Up Your Mind" or just "Make Up Your Mind." But now I've done it both ways, so I've covered all my bases. Ruby Rose has stated that she is open to a brief return to Batwoman. Now, if you don't know this, Batwoman premiered last year before last year. It's confusing because we lost a year. I don't know what fucking day it is, but Ruby Rose was Batwoman for one season, and then she left. She said it was due to, she had a back injury. She came into it too quick. She didn't know it was going to be so difficult, whatever. She leaves, and that leaves the crew scrambling. What are they going to do? Season 2 of a show, having to recast the lead. Well, what they did is they, instead of recasting a different person as her character, Kate Kane, they had a completely new character, Ryan Wilder, step into the Batsuit. Now, she said she's fine coming back for a few episodes just to wrap up her character's arc. She just doesn't want to overshadow what they're building with Ryan Wilder. And first of all, I mean, you don't sign up for a TV show like this and bow out after the first season. You know what? The producers would have made concessions. They would have done whatever they had to do to keep her on. That really fucked them. After spending an entire year building a story, and now she's gone. And she says she doesn't want to overshadow. Well, you know what? Too bad. Paul, have you caught Batwoman?
Yes.
Okay. The entire show is about her still.
Yes.
Now they're trying to find her character, except what are they going to do? The character comes back, and then they have some bullshit excuse of why she doesn't want to be Batwoman anymore. It's a disaster. I mean, the show quality, first of all, I mean, everyone's doing good. Ryan Wilder is doing a good job, but it sucks now.
Yes,
So
it's
bad.
definitely not the same show. Season 1 was lights out. I love season 1.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And just the whole vibe, the whole feel of this show, completely different. And it's gotten to be one of the shows now where I don't care if I watch it.
Yeah. And it's sad because I was excited about the potential. I mean, they had introduced Tommy Elliott, and all these other Batman mythos characters, and it could have gone in a really cool direction. And then they kind of had to just change everything up. Okay. I mean, for instance, Alice, why the fuck is Alice messing with the new Bat? That wouldn't happen in real life. She wouldn't give a shit. She wants to go get her sister or whatever,
Right. Yeah.
They're forcing all these characters to like this brand new character as Batwoman, which is really what they have to do. And it just doesn't feel right. Now, the performances are still good. And Ryan Wilder, the character is doing a great job. I don't know what the actress's name is. I'm sorry.
Me either, but she looks familiar from something.
Yeah, but I mean, she's doing a great job, but with what she's got, that there's not a whole lot there. I mean, the show is still about Kate Kane every single week, and that's dragging it down. I really wish there'd been a body in that fucking plane wreck, and they could have had a funeral, because what the show needs to really move on is to move on and not talk about Kate Kane any longer.
And before you move on to it, and the way you're touching on saying everything is still revolving around Kate, even when we saw like Ryan's origin story where she had been kidnapped in that thing, it still somehow came back to touching on Alice and Kate.
Yeah.
It's insane, like the amount that they're trying so hard to interconnect the whole thing. Just let Ryan have her story now, if that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's what they need to do. Finally, goodbye, rapey skunk. Now, some more Space Jam news after they changed one of the other characters. Pepe Le Pew has been completely removed from Space Jam 2, and apparently WB has no further plans for the character. They're going to retire him. If you don't know who Pepe Le Pew is, we called him the rapey skunk, but he was a skunk, and there was a female black cat who accidentally got a white stripe painted down her back, and he was just in love with her. So he would chase her all over the city and grab her and try to kiss her and do all the things that, we get canceled for these days. He's basically a walking Me Too, training program for what not to do. Now it's funny, some people are really mad about, the cancellation of a cartoon skunk. I personally don't give a shit. Do any of you guys care?
Nope.
All right, then that's the news, kids. Now I am going on Twitter to take credit for all those stimulus checks about to go out. I figure if Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker can vote no on the bill and then publicly take credit for the positive stuff in it, I can too. I had as much to do with it passing as he did. You're welcome, America. Paul?
In other news, donkeys are commonly used by the Iraqi military to launch rockets. Back to you, Corbs.
All right. Donkeys.
Donkey.
I was thinking the same Shrek. Donkey. All right. So, movie this week. One of my favorite movies is Bachelor Party. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie. It was released in 1984.
That sounds like a movie that wouldn't fly these days.
That's for sure.
That's for definite sure. I'll give you that one. That is definitely a foregone conclusion. Stars a very young Tom Hanks. Post Bosom Buddies.
Great show.
It was
Also
good
a show that wouldn't fly today.
No. And our video vixen, Tawny Katane. If you don't remember her, she was the hood ornament in the White Snake videos.
Wow. Imagine that being your achievement.
Her other achievement is she was married to Chuck Finley, a pitcher for the California Angels, and beat the living shit out of him. So
She beat the shit out of him?
Yeah. It's true. So the movie is directed by Neil Israel. Again, like I said, released in 1984. It stars Tom Hanks as Rick. He's a crazy, uninhibited, fun-loving school bus driver. Plans to marry his long-living girlfriend, Debbie, played by Tawny Katane, a sexy shop girl from a rich, disapproving family. Rick and his longtime circle of buddies plan a wild bachelor party, and Debbie fears that the self-proclaimed great guy Rick will cheat on her during the wild bash in the hotel suite with guest strippers and hookers. Furthermore, her ex-boyfriend Cole, a dumb blonde preppy type favored by Debbie's father, wants to marry her instead and bumblingly tries to break up the engagement. Cole succeeds to the extent of convincing Debbie and her bridesmaid to infiltrate the chic hotel where Rick and his gang are partying, disguised as glammed-up whores themselves, to spy on the men. Between the scheming, intrigue, pranks, misunderstandings, and drug and sex-fueled mishap, Rick's bachelor party turns into a monumental incident complete with multiple arrests and an early morning car chase. If you don't remember the car chase, I can't help you.
Did you say guest strippers and hookers?
Yeah.
See, I know there are strippers and hookers, but I've never heard of guest strippers.
Well, what it is
why don't we have those, Paul?
Yeah, why don't we have those on our show?
Guest strippers.
We can probably make something similar to that happen. I'm just saying.
I don't want to see you.
Sorry, Corbs.
I don't want to see you strip.
Yeah, you know where that's where he was going. So,
this raunchy comedy is lucky to get subbed by its star. According to publicity, Bachelor Party was actually inspired by the real life Bachelor Party of director Neil Israel's brother. While these lowbrow joke experts keep the narrative moving along at a fast clip, amidst the locker room potty humor, the friend who tries to kill himself, anything from drowning himself in a bathtub to trying to cut his wrist with an electric razor. It's basically one of those teen comedy, early 20 comedies from the 80s, i.e. Porky's Revenge, Porky's 2.
it's The Hangover's grandfather.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, I would that would be an accurate depiction of that movie.
Would it be father? I don't know. Maybe father.
No, grandfather. That's like 40 years ago.
Oh,
So, again, I liked it. It's a good movie. Extreme. You know, they got for the 1980s. You know, the movies, the 80s. You got the Porky's and all those.
Animal
movies.
House.
you're saying there was boobs?
Yeah.
Okay, there were boobs.
Yeah. You know, there's the dancing donkey and shit like that in it. So I give it 2.5 stars. Maybe a little generous on my part. But this is a movie I'm sure that Tom Hanks himself probably does not put on his resume. So
Anymore.
Does he even need a resume?
Right.
I mean,
His
is
resume
everybody-
is I'm Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Is anyone going, yeah, we like you, but we'd like to see what you've done before?
right. So
Well, our good friend Roger Ebert, he has his own opinions here. And apparently this came out on January 1st, 1984. That's what I'm hearing. He gives it 3 stars.
Ooh.
And he says, Bachelor Party is 1984's version of the annual summer food fight movie. With a movie like this, it doesn't really matter whether anyone actually throws mashed potatoes across the room. What matters is whether the movie is faithful to the spirit of Blotto Bluto in National Lampoon's Animal House when he yelled, "Food fight!" and the madness began. The story this time is about this guy who decides to get married and his friends decide to throw him a bachelor party. That's about it. The first half of the movie sets up the party, and the second half of the movie is the party. Both halves of the movie are raunchy, chaotic, and quite shameless in aiming at the lowest possible level of taste, of course. The Bachelor in the movie is played by Tom Hanks. He was the guy from Splash, who the mermaid fell in love with. I didn't think he was all that terrific in Splash. I thought he was miscast, and they should have gone for somebody who was less of a conventional leading man. But in Bachelor Party, he's a lot more funny, and I enjoyed the performance. He plays the kind of guy who goes over to his fiance's house for dinner and drops table scraps onto the floor in case they have a dog.
In
case.
And if they don't,
then you're just a dick. He has a great one-liner when he has to introduce himself to his fiance's nerdy ex-boyfriend. The name is Bond, James Bond. During the chaos of the party itself, one of his primary roles is simply to direct traffic. The idea during the party, I think, is to approximate the spirit of one of those Jack Davis drawings in Mad Magazine, where dozens of people are running around like crazy, and down in the corners you can see strange little figures doing inexplicable things. Most of the gags depend on varieties of public embarrassment, and some of them are pretty funny, especially when the women decide to have their revenge by visiting a male go-go bar. Is Bachelor Party a great movie? No. Why do I give it 3 stars? Because it honors the tradition of a reliable movie genre, because it tries hard, and because when it is funny, it is very funny. It is relatively easy to make a comedy that is totally devoid of humor, but not all that easy to make a movie containing some genuine laughs. Bachelor Party has some great moments and qualifies as a raunchy, scummy, grungy, blotto bluto movie.
wow.
Yeah. So there you have it. Bachelor Party. 2 3/4 stars if we blend them together, I guess.
Wow. 3 stars for freaking Roger Ebert. That's
I was a little shocked.
yeah. He's not that type of well, I should say he's not. He wasn't. He was always a traditionalist. He didn't really like
Proves he can be objective, though. That was a very objective review. And my respect level for him has gone up a little bit just because of that review.
I'm glad I could facilitate that then.
Thank you, Paul. You've made my evening.
Good.
My eyes don't even hurt anymore. I can see perfectly.
But they still smell refreshingly of pine.
Yes, they do.
So because we took last week off, we didn't get to discuss the WandaVision finale, guys.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you guys think?
Didn't see that coming. I mean, we never got our House of M moment.
No, we did not.
And I respect them for, coming up with something new. I mean, I totally thought they fooled us all. I feel like they fooled us all. And I don't, I mean, I've read reviews online saying what happened in that last scene in the cabin, but watching it, I don't really understand it. I mean, I almost wish that hadn't been tacked on there because we know that they're both in the wind, but they threw that on there. And so she's walking around drinking coffee and in the astral plane where they both her. I mean, I don't, it wasn't clear upon the first viewing what happened there. And nobody in my house understood, immediately.
Yeah. My takeaway from that was she was pulling the same trick that Doctor Strange pulled in Endgame with the myriad possibilities, but she was using it literally like to have her life drinking coffee, and then the rest of her aspect is reading the entire fucking Darkhold, which is not a good idea. So, I mean, and that's obviously where we're going to roll right into Multiverse of Madness.
So you think she's going to be even more of a bad guy?
She is going to be a catalyst because she's going after those kids. Like, as she was reading it, we heard the kids calling out, and that's got to be one of the different universes. And she's going to do something to go after them, and that's going to shit's going to not go well.
So she's going to walk into Doctor Strange 2 like Fred Durst and break stuff.
Yes.
Wow. Pretty good analogy right there.
Right? She needs the backwards red ball cap, though.
That's true.
We've got to. What do you guys think of the costume now that she is officially the Scarlet Witch?
Okay, I'll go first. We started drinking, so I was trying to let Corbs. I talk a lot, so I was trying to.
You do, and that's my thing. I don't talk a lot at all.
Well, you know what? I think it's classy. I think it's appropriate. I read that she actually had some input on it, and she was kind of upset by some of her costumes in previous movies where she was like the only one with cleavage, and that bothered her. So yeah, I think that it's a good update to the classic costume, gets the point across without being like, hey, look at my tits, which is really what we need. You know, that's one of the differences between, putting things on celluloid and the comic books. You know, the comic books haven't really matured, whereas the movies have.
True.
I got a huge vibe that they took a lot from her gypsy costume from like the 2000s in Avengers. Like that was the look it looked to me like they were going with. I like it a lot. It fits. I'm still not so sure about this whole shoehorning in the Scarlet Witch thing. Like, so we officially have the name now.
Yeah.
That was a little weird to me. And we didn't get a huge explanation on it. Like she's now like another breaker of worlds, like we got in S.H.I.E.L.D. So hopefully there's more.
And do you think that this Darkhold being here now eliminates S.H.I.E.L.D. from canon, like people are saying?
That's all I've seen is that the producers and stuff are saying, nope, this is the only official one. So I mean, are we also going to find out that was also an alternate Earth now? I mean, that's an easy way to explain it off.
Yeah, but aren't Coulson and Quake rumored to be in Secret Invasion?
Oh God, I hope so. I hadn't heard that. I really hope they are.
I feel like it was a little more than a rumor. Like there was actually a little bit of proof when I saw it. Again, I don't see any reason why the Darkhold can't exist in both places. This is fantasy, okay?
Right.
There's no reason that just because you use it here, it can't have. Nothing could have happened, with it back then. I know that producers, when they take over things or they do a movie, they like to do their own vision, but I really think you need to take the entire continuum. And the whole thing about Marvel is it's all connected. Well, keep it connected.
Right.
I mean, nothing has happened on TV and Netflix that cannot be accounted for in the MCU.
Yeah, because everything doesn't have to be tied in so deeply that everything affects everything else. Like we're going to get ripples. Like that's why I like the Netflix shows is they referenced what happened in Avengers, but only the big shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the stuff that,
the big green guy in Battle of New York,
Yes.
And that was fine. That was all that was needed. And if they bring those characters back in through the MCU, I can't imagine that anything happened there because they're not going to retell those stories anyway. I mean, they're too recent. They're not going to go back and try to redo that stuff. I think it makes sense to keep that established lore and those established characters and just utilize them now on a grander scale.
Yeah, that's why I'm hoping the rumors with Spider-Man 3 are true about Charlie Cox reprising as Matt Murdock. So,
what about you, Corbs, who doesn't talk?
I enjoyed the whole concept from somebody who doesn't read the comics. I mean, obviously, you have to play off the comic at some points, but like you guys are saying, it didn't hold true. It kind of went in its own direction. I didn't understand the whole Vision versus White Vision when he kind of, from what it looked like to me, gave him all of his memories. Is that what it was?
Technically, what he said was that the memories are already inside White Vision, but they were being blocked because of the government programming. And I think what he did is unlock those memories. So in theory, that Vision should have memories right up until the end of Endgame. I don't think he would have the memories inside Westvale, but he would have all the memories
leading up to that point. And then that was kind of the end of it. Like, he was gone after that. I didn't understand why he didn't stay around or anything like that.
I think that was his mission directive, was to
kill Vision.
But after the ship of Theseus stuff there, Theseus, I think that's when he realized that he really was the Vision. So,
okay,
I mean, it's a prime directive kind of thing. Yeah.
Maybe,
does he have to go be suicidal? I mean,
go bash himself into a cliff or something. Full speed.
Hopefully he gets a little bit of color, because I really wasn't fond of the white. Like, I like the cool nod back to the comics, but didn't really work on screen for me.
Comics and the original Captain America and the Avengers arcade game. Vision was white in that game as well.
Yes. Yeah. Again, worked on a video game screen, not on.
Yeah. You know what was weird about it, though, is that with Paul Bettany in both makeups, he looked really different all white. Did you notice that when they had the close-ups? It wasn't just he was acting different or whatever. It almost looked like a different person. And I was amazed that they could, just with the color, you know. I mean, maybe they did other stuff there, but I noticed it, and I kind of was like, whoa.
Yeah. It was cool to at least get to see the White Vision in real life for once. Yeah. That was I dug it, and then I was like, okay, we need regular Vision back. So all in all, I thought it was great, start to finish. The show was really good. We had all the whiners about the first few episodes being slow, but that just goes back to not really getting it, I think.
Well, I saw an article today that said that WandaVision somehow made a streaming service appointment TV, which is not something streaming services generally are. And apparently this was a huge, huge hit, you know, across the board for the Wii and the not Wii.
Cool. And I expected it to be big. I mean, because practically everything Marvel does is a hit with them.
Oh, so, yeah, definitely.
And I'm glad it worked out. And I'm looking forward to next week when we get Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Yeah,
and we'll be through our movie watching thing by then. We started Infinity War tonight.
Sweet.
Got about an hour of that, so we made it. Now
that's awesome.
I want to ask you guys: are you caught up now with The Walking Dead?
Yes.
And there was interesting conversation apparently, Paul, that you had with somebody who's a friend of the show.
Yeah. Oh, she is gonna be so fucking mad right now.
Yeah.
Corbs, what did you think of the current episode where we met Leah?
It kind of gave a little
Exactly.
background to Daryl. I mean, it kind of filled in the blanks of where he was looking for his brother, his man homie. His man homie. So I didn't think it was bad. I didn't enjoy the episode. It was kind of slow. I didn't really. There was, you know, I mean, him walking around and throwing fish at her door and shit like that.
I loved that. He just taps it at the door.
She doesn't answer the door. I mean, and then she disappears. She's gone.
Is she dead?
That's the question. Is she going to come back later on? Is she dead? Does he find her someplace? You know, did she end up with somebody else in another group someplace? Is she part of the group that's got what's his name?
Rick. What? Oh, Eugene. No, they're too far away.
Right. It's weird that she was there. It was a whole episode about that, and then she's gone.
My question: if she's not dead and she resurfaces,
she gonna have a kid by Daryl?
I don't know. Did they make it that far?
Because there's a Daryl and Carol spinoff coming up after this, and he's not going to leave his kid or his girlfriend behind to go biking with Carol across the country.
See, and that's what I thought too. But it looks like they're trying to separate the two characters, didn't it? With this episode, like there's
It did.
clearly a rift here.
There is. Well, but you notice something about that rift. While what Daryl was saying was true, he was also behaving kind of like a kid does. You know, when you get, you know, and she says, well, we've never talked about this. It's all we talk about. Just saying the opposite thing to say something.
Right.
Which that brings up the point I wanted to make about this. And I understand some people felt it was boring or just an origin for dog. There's a lot more going on here. Okay. Let me give you some information. What we saw here was the background of Daryl's abuse and the way he was raised. Daryl has always struggled making attachments. He's always struggled putting himself first. He's always helping other people, but never helping himself, you know, which makes him both good and tragic. And a lot of that has to do with the abuse that he experienced under Merle and his father. You know, they were awful people. They were, you know, drug addicts and, you know, drug sellers, and they were just terrible people. And he managed to keep his kind heart through all of that abuse, but it affected him in the way he creates relationships and the way he gets close to people. If you look at what happened in this episode, it took years for him and Leah to get to the point where they eventually did. Okay. Because remember all those time jumps, there's a couple years. I mean, you know, how many dates do you go on somebody before you sleep with them? Everybody ask yourself that, you know, real question. Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Do you wait 2 or 3 years before you get close? Generally not. He can't help it because he is emotionally stunted because of the abuse that he experienced. This is the first time, mind you, this show's in its 10th season and it's done time jumps of what? 3 years, 4 years. Daryl hasn't gotten any in like 14 years. Okay. We've seen him this entire time. He's not been in a relationship. So first of all, A, I think the character deserves it. But B, if you're paying attention, we got to see who he really is, which is somebody who is emotionally damaged and has trouble creating and maintaining relationships that directly enrich him. Like, you know, being in love with somebody is for you. You know, when it comes to making a relationship with Rick or Carol, or where it's about keeping everybody safe and sacrificing to help them, he's fine. But when it's just about him, he can't decide, is he worth staying there? Does he deserve that kind of love if he stays with her? And he says it, I don't know. Mm-hmm. And that's what he's saying when they say, where do you belong? With me, with the group, where do you belong? And he says, I don't know. The question he's really answering is, do you deserve to be loved? And that's why I think it was a fucking fantastic episode. And I'm sorry to friends of the show who disagree, but I mean, if you were paying attention, that was one of the most emotionally complex episodes we've ever gotten of The Walking Dead, hands down. But you had to be paying attention.
Okay. Where does that fit in with Clear? Wasn't that also one of your favorites?
Clear with Morgan?
Yes.
How does it fit in?
Like, where does that rank with it? Like, is that on par?
Yes, but Clear was a more traditional episode. It was more traditional storytelling. In this last one, you had to be paying attention to how Daryl reacted to people and thinking about his past. And how many people watched that show weren't even thinking about the fact that, you know, he's basically behaved like a teenager the entire time the show's been on.
Very true. And you look at this way deeper than I did too. And when you say it now, it's like, yeah, all that makes sense. Like I watched it through and I appreciate it for like the great character moment we got for the whole thing and like seeing a different side to him. But I didn't even factor in like all the previous abuse and all that, like you're saying now. And it makes so much sense. And just the anguish in him when the map fell apart on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean that was he has to have a mission. He doesn't know how to move on. He doesn't think he deserves to move on or be happy. It's got to be about the next thing he's doing for somebody else.
Yes. Yeah, because that's what you could see with all that time is that's all that mattered was finding Rick. Like that's what he had to do for the rest of them.
Yeah.
And just like when Carol came back, his first thing, how are the kids? He's worried about them. Yeah.
So he's got the biggest heart, and the people who have the biggest hearts a lot of times are the ones that take the most shit and have the most problems.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the first episode though? Like with Maggie coming back?
Oh, that's right, because we didn't really discuss that, did we?
We couldn't because you guys hadn't seen it yet.
Yes. Phenomenal. When they kept referencing Herschel, I had completely forgotten that they had named the kid. So I'm like, wait, no, he died years ago. Like, no. The freaking sniper dude, that was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
All these episodes are going to be different anyway, and people need to temper their expectations, understanding that these were episodes they filmed under lockdown.
Mhm.
So they're not going to be like what we're used to, but it's also giving them a chance to do more personal stories and more pared down, laser focused stories. And I mean, it's kind of nice, at least in my opinion, to take a break from the zombie killing to maybe flesh out some of the characters a little more. I mean, that's what we're going to get. I don't know when it's going to be, but we're getting the Here's Negan episode here in these 6 episodes. I can't wait for that.
We're getting what?
Here's
Negan
the
episode.
Negan backstory.
Based on the Here's Negan, the one-shot comic.
I thought it was a miniseries. Was it only a single issue?
No, I think it was a single issue, yeah, and which told where he was before the apocalypse. I can't wait for that. Jeffrey Dean
Same
Morgan
here.
is going to kill that.
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
Just because of everything I've heard about that comic, I cannot wait to see that done. That is going to be phenomenal.
So, what about I mean, obviously the Reapers are something new for the comic. They're not in the comics. I read that. So, what do you guys think about them as a obviously the sniper there is part of that group. You think they're going to be worse off than Whispers? Think it's going to be different?
With the limited amount of time we've got, I don't see them being as big of a threat as we've seen in previous seasons, because I can't see this jumping into the new season, the final season. There's a lot of shit they're going to have to wrap up in that final season. I mean,
it's an extended season, but still, if they're going to end where the comic ended,
they've got a long way to go.
Yeah, and I'm just like, man, when they showed up, I'm like, oh, great. Another group of people who want to kill them. I just want to see them rebuild, deal with walkers and shit. I mean, that most people probably think that's boring, but I'm tired of the new. I mean, we've burned through all the enemies in the comic. I mean, the Whispers were the last ones, and then it moved on to the Commonwealth storyline. Not to say there aren't antagonists in that storyline, but it's not some mysterious group of roving people that kill other people.
Right.
Gotcha. All in all, so far, I'm loving the new season. Well, the rest of the season. It's not really a new season, but loving it. Like I actually have like a renewed interest now. Like it was waning for a while, and now it's Destination TV again. Like I cannot wait to turn it on.
Yeah, Sunday night. So. Paul, what about this Wednesday coming up? It's coming back, right? Lions.
Oh, I haven't even started it. I haven't seen it.
This coming Wednesday is season 3.
Oh no, but I'm saying I haven't even seen season 1. Like I didn't get on board with that.
Get out of here.
You can't kick me out.
Hey, Corbs.
It's my Zoom.
Maybe the Mayans is Paul's Supernatural. Did you ever stop to think of that?
I did not until right now. Right just before you said that, I was like, that's probably his Supernatural. Very good. Very good.
Tonight. All right. What do you say we hit the last break and we come back and wrap this up, guys?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Stay tuned, folks.
The 4th annual Sci-Fi Horror Fest is coming with an all-new location, new celebrity guests, and more to enjoy. Sci-Fi Horror Fest has a new home for 2021 at the Vernon Downs Casino and Hotel in Vernon, New York. Sci-Fi Horror Fest will be held on August 27th and 28th. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is a family-friendly event featuring exciting guests including CJ Graham and Loren Malloy, as well as fun activities, vendors, and a media area with an eclectic group of podcast personalities. More guest announcements will be announced soon. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to www.sci-fihorrorfest.com. That's www.sci-fihorrorfest.com. Sci-Fi Horror Fest is currently looking for volunteers. This is your chance to be part of the fun. Please note, dates and details of the event are subject to change due to any lasting issues due to COVID-19.
And we are back. All right. So I'm going to go ahead with this one. I was at Wegmans and I saw something that both mystified and horrified me at the same time. Are you guys aware that the mullet is back?
It's not like the monkey beard.
Not here. That's like south of like North Carolina. It can't be here.
It was here. The kid that rang me out, his name is Sam, because I took note of his name tag. He is rocking a mullet. And I was doing some research earlier, and I'm linking to an article from menshealth.com talking about how the mullet is a fashion statement in 2021 again, and exactly why it is and how you should get your hair cut. And because I figured you guys wouldn't really buy what I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys something. And I'm trying something new here. I'm going to try and throw a picture up for you guys and for the show when people are watching back, and hopefully this works. This was from a quick Google search that I grabbed. Okay.
Fingers crossed for you, Paul.
Right.
Trying new things in real time is always scary.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the picture would have come up by now. Oh,
nope.
Something is happening.
Hello.
What the?
Now, this is what we've got. If you'll notice, this is a bunch of pictures of the current mullet. And picture number 2, top group number 2. That's what I'm seeing out in public now. That's we've got.
Well, hold on a second. 1 and 2 are not mullets. 3 definitely.
Well, I'm sorry. Now that I'm looking close at number 2, it was longer, more like on number 3 on the kid I saw. A little bit shaggier, but with the shaved sides like that, and it's very clearly a mullet. And like this is a thing now. I'm gonna take the picture down now. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I don't think most of those are mullets. I don't buy it.
Some of them are weird. Like on the third one on the bottom row, that looks more like the guy from Imagine Dragons.
You put those pictures up, and the first thing I thought of, and you know, this is going to sound weird, but I thought of Patrick Mahomes.
Yep. Okay, I can see that. Hugh, for you, Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs football team.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Patrick Mahomes. That was a friend of you guys. All right. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Oh, you're leaving dead air while you write again.
Sorry. I mean, you guys should know how to pick that up. So what do you think? I mean, obviously,
that's my new haircut.
You've got a long way to go.
I wish you could grow that. I would love to see that on your head.
I'm pretty sure over in all the Halloween costumes in the basement, I have a blonde mullet wig somewhere. So I mean, maybe one of these shows I can rock that for you if you really want. But I was thinking that, like, if someone was going to bite the bullet and do it, I mean, there's only one possible opportunity there to do it.
Okay. First of all, the mullet shows laziness and a lack of follow through. It's having long hair, but not having to deal with the awkward stage where it's in your eyes. You know what? Suck it up, Buttercup. If you want to have long hair, you have to do it the right way, or you look fucking stupid.
I mean, that, especially the end part, you're right. That fucking mullet looks stupid.
I'm gonna ask this question, Paul. Okay. You were there, you saw this kid. Was he rocking a monkey beard too?
No. Clean shaven, but with the mullet. Wait, so is that what we do? Do we have somebody go with the mullet and the monkey beard?
Hey, somebody, like, anybody's going to actually do that. Nobody here is going to do that.
I mean, there's only one possibility.
Yeah, you can put that right back in your pants.
You can go ahead and suck a dick is what you can do.
Yeah, pretty much. And I will not specify what gender that dick has to be. I'll let you make that decision.
Corbs, I'll fill you in off mic.
There will not be any mullets or monkey beards here.
I tried, Corbs. I really tried. And look, I'm getting better at figuring out who to like, which direction to look at people, so it actually looks like I'm.
Yeah, that helps. No, I actually, you remember a while back I was saying I was really worried about my hair because it seemed like it was thinning out and I was having issues with it.
Yes.
Switched over to Pantene repair conditioner, and at first I wasn't so sure, but my hair is back to being nice and thick and the tangles all come out and I'm not, combing an entire cat out of my hair every day. So it definitely was a dry, damaged hair issue. So definitely not not
going mullet.
No,
that's
it's not happening.
Both fortunate and unfortunate for the show, I guess. I mean, it would be even better if we could get you to do it like on camera.
Dude, you may want a monkey beard, but you're gonna have to find a trained monkey for that because
I've always wanted a monkey. It would just be really cool. What?
Easy, Michael Jackson.
Oh no!
No,
like
monkeys are awful. They're
evil little fuckers.
They throw your poop at you and they steal your shit.
And apparently bite noses off. Wasn't that a thing?
I don't know. I haven't heard that one.
That was years ago. I think some lady got one as a pet and it fucking freaked out and bit her nose off.
Well, I'm sure monkeys have probably bit every part of a human body at some point or another.
Agreed.
So let's wrap this up. Corbs, you had something you wanted to bring up?
I just wanted to mention Meyers Leonard. I don't know if you guys know who this fool is.
Nope.
Okay, he is a basketball player for the Miami Heat, and apparently he was live streaming a video game he was playing and called somebody a anti-Semitic word. I'm not going to use that word on mic. It's not okay. I have a friend of mine who is of that faith, and even he said that it's not okay to say that word. Meyers Leonard's thing is he said, quote unquote, he didn't know what it meant.
Okay. That's
but if you see the video and you listen to what he's saying, he fully knows exactly what he is saying.
Like it was in context, is what you're saying.
He was saying it in his way to kind of be like, I didn't know what it meant at the time. I had to look it up and what it meant. Don't be a dumbass. I'm sick and tired of these people, athletes and whatnot, doing this stuff and then backtracking, saying, well, I didn't know what it meant.
Right. Not my fault. Just passing the buck. Yep.
Right. Oh, I didn't know. Was never taught that word. Right. I'm sorry. Everybody knows what that word is. Like I said, I'm not going to say it. I wouldn't do that to my friend, say that. And he doesn't even listen to the podcast, and I wouldn't do that. It's not right. And all he got was a $50,000 fine.
So it's literally nothing to him.
And he's not going to have to pay the fine because he's hurt. I saw that he's not going to have to pay the fine because he is actually on the injury reserve right now. And he did get suspended for 1 week.
But if he's injured, is that going to matter?
No.
Isn't that kind of like suspending pitchers when they're on a week's rotation anyway?
Yeah. Get suspended for a week. You get suspended for 6 days for throwing at somebody when you don't pitch until day 7.
That's like giving suspension to a kid that's already remote learning at home.
Right. Exactly. So, I don't understand what's going on with in the world. Going back to what he was talking about with Pepe Le Pew, and Dumbo being removed for stuff like that. And why are we going to cartoons that are made from the 40s and the 50s and trying to say that that's the problem? I don't understand why that's the thing. If we're trying to change the past, why not educate the present to change the future?
Takes more effort. It's easier to just get mad about something.
Right, but you get mad about that, and you're right, Hewitt. It's easy to say, well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
But don't fix the problem. Just say that's the problem and don't do anything about it. And then keep complaining about it.
Well, fixing the problem requires actually changing people's views, which is sometimes impossible to do. And I'm not saying that people who get mad about this stuff don't actually want to change those views, but that's not why they're doing what they're doing. They're doing it because they want to have something to be pissed off about. They want to have a focus. They want to be able to have, marches or riots or sit-ins or whatever, something to be angry about. They want to be activists. You can't be an activist you can't be righteously pissed off and teaching somebody how to be a better person at the same time. The two don't really mix, because that requires understanding and compassion for somebody who has a view that's different than yours. It's easier to just be mad.
Right. It's more commonplace to just shout them down now if they feel differently than you.
Right.
Like you're not going to have
to beat the person down if they don't believe what you believe.
Yes. Because if it's not your opinion, we can't have a discord about it and try and work it out. It's just whoever can shout louder is the one that's going to win.
Or the one that has the media on their side.
Definitely.
Marlboro.
Yeah.
I just, that's it. I just, I feel this guy should have been fired, for like a better term. He shouldn't be suspended. He shouldn't have got a $50,000 fine. He should be suspended for a year. I mean, in my mind, doing that to somebody is almost the same as performance enhancing drugs. Nowadays, you're everywhere. Social media is everywhere, and especially if you're doing a podcast like we do. I mean, obviously our podcast reaches to a certain extent, but these other people have podcasts. But other podcasts have a far-reaching thing, and the guys that are doing these live feeds of them playing games and talking to people, you don't know who you're talking to. You mean you're 25, 26, 27, 30 years old, and you could be talking to a 13-year-old like my son on gaming. Why are you calling somebody that word, or why are you saying those things to you don't know who you're talking to? Right.
And like you said, the world's listening, the world's watching. Like there is no, it was just me and my buddies. That's it. The internet is a wonderful and a horrible thing.
Right.
And there is no hiding from anything.
Agreed.
That's how it is now. And in the same vein, I believe there was a country singer recently that got caught using an awful derogatory racial term as well. And, there was blowback on it. And then all these redneck Trumpers, basically, were coming out to support him. Like all of a sudden his record sales tripled because they came out in support of him. So what the fuck, yo?
Right.
Yeah.
Same idea. Oh, I didn't mean to. What you said it clear as day. So
convincingly, clear as day, convincingly.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
And that means a lot coming from you.
That is not a lie. Because we've established I'm kind of an awful person. I'm on the right side of awful. Let's put it that way. But
yeah, barely.
Yeah, and mine mostly comes around, if it isn't obvious by now, mine is just my need to fuck with people. Like it's completely mean spirited, but I know better. Like, and I know what lines not to cross.
Right, and I'm the same way. I do the same thing with people. I joke around with people. I make, I wouldn't say inappropriate comments, but I make comments that probably shouldn't be made at that time that you're making them. But you're doing it to try to get a laugh. He wasn't trying to get a laugh when he said this. He was literally putting somebody down by saying this word. So I don't. I'm in awestruck at some of the stuff that people do to each other.
It is. It's ridiculous.
Don't be. People are awful. People are the scum of the earth.
All right.
I don't know if my wisdom nugget can top that.
Well, you have a few moments to think about it, because I do have an in memoriam I would like to bring up. We lost an actor this week, Cliff Simon, who played the villain Baal in the Stargate movie and the Stargate TV series. He was like their first big villain. I mean, because Stargate ran for like 15 fucking years, so he was like a bad guy for the first 6 seasons. But he was in the movie as well, I believe, and he died. He was only 58 in a kiteboarding accident, and I learned a lot about him. I mean, I liked the actor; he was just fucking great in the part. He was a villain you loved to hate, but also whenever he popped up, because it wasn't just sequential. Whenever he was on the show, it's like, oh yeah, I haven't seen him in a while. He did some other shows, but he was also an Olympic swimmer. And I got pulled it up here. An Air Force veteran, a South African Air Force veteran, windsurfing instructor, and a model. Like he did all sorts of crazy shit. And I read another article that had about 3 more things in it than this one did, because I just pulled this up really quick. Yeah, it's kind of sad. You know, he was the 58 is young. God, I hope 58 is young.
I think it still is. Yeah. I think it's considered young.
Yeah, but a kiteboarding accident, man. What an awful way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably die the same way, but that's just because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but you die on the first time. I mean, you know, this guy knew what he was doing, so.
Wow, well, that's too bad.
We'd be like, yeah, Paul, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. When the second he said he was going to kiteboard, I knew it was going to happen. You know, this is somebody who like shows other people how to do this shit. You know?
Right.
So,
it's kind of like the Steve Irwin thing.
What?
Crocodile Hunter. Like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that would have been irony if he'd been killed by a crocodile, but still, there was irony there, and it was sad.
Yes.
But his whole family has a show now on Discovery Plus.
I'm not surprised. Isn't the daughter pregnant
Indy.
now?
I don't know her, and I don't talk that much anymore.
I mean, you should probably reach out, see how she's doing.
But I mean, the whole family's on there. I think so. I think there might be some little kids, and the mom is there. So hey, at least the legacy didn't die with him,
which is good, because that was a fucking legend right there.
Yeah, it was. Go ahead, Paul. Drop your nuggets.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna wrap it up. So this week's wisdom nugget: nachos are just tacos who didn't have their life together yet. Good night, everybody, and megabyte me, bitches.
This has been a GeekPod Network production.